BRC20s and Pepe are all soaring. Meanwhile, the bank stocks, they're all flooring. This is Around the Blockchain. And the rhyming, of course, was for one of our guests today. Please go ahead, hit those likes. We have a great show today. Let's just get right into it. On the top left, if it's a meme pool, he probably won't take a swim, but he is the newest Bit Squad member. I'm talking about TA Tim. Tim, have I or have I not maybe convinced you to buy your first meme coin?
You are the most inspirational meme coin advocate I've ever talked to, DZ, and you've swayed me. You've actually swayed me, DZ. My last couple of days with you, I've changed my mind.
All right, well, when you put it that way, I actually regret everything I said. Now don't buy. All right, moving on. We have Firoz. When it comes to alpha per minute, he has the best channel. I think he's dressed to win because my man's wearing flannel. Firoz, how are you doing? Are you cutting any tree stumps today?
No tree stumps today, DZ, but I'm here to be on the show, 10 p.m. Thursday, UK time. Can't wait.
Hey, man, we always love having you on. And then next guest, man, I really wish we could hang out in Florida. I'm not going to be at Miami. Unfortunately, I'll be at VCon, somehow even more scammy. Sam Price, how are you doing? We're going to roll you up. Hey, Sam, always a good time. Are you looking forward to Miami?
I can't wait, man. I'm going to wear a Speedo, you know?
Well, I'm glad I'm going to VCon now. All right, and then our last guest, I see him, hey, I don't know if he's B-Rabbit because he's wearing the white hoodie. If you were born 30 years earlier, we'd buy your CD at Sam Goody. Cassius, how are you doing? You got any new songs in the pipeline?
I do. I got a new music video coming out, but I'm going to wait till Miami to reveal it to y'all.
Oh, okay. Okay. Can you give us a hint of the genre of blockchain? Memes?
It's memes.
It's
a layer one, but it's a hype one. It's a hype song.
Okay. A hype layer one. Oh, man, I wish I was there. I'm missing out. I'm feeling the FOMO, but you know what? I'll just think of Sam in the Speedo. It'll keep me away. All right, let's get right into it and talk about a different type of carnage. Not in a carnage of my eyeballs. No, the banking carnage that has been happening. We had a PacWest, First Horizon, Western Alliance, all plummeted about 40% this market open today. PacWest saw investors flee. It dropped about 60% at one point, I think around maybe 50% as the markets close. Together, $70 billion in deposits. We're not talking about chump change here. You know, they are smaller banks, but we're still talking about tens and tens of billions of dollars in deposits. And First Horizon, they have about 90 billion in total assets, divvied up, different investments. And then investors that have 200 billion or less in deposits. No one knows, are these banks going to be protected moving forward? As the feds seem to signal, banks, you got to be too big to fail if you want any kind of protection here, trying to roll everything up. The bigger banks, they only fell slightly. I think Bank of America fell about 1.5%. JP Morgan fell about 2% today. So the bigger banks seemingly feel inoculated from the pain. Sam Price, we saw a lot of red candles today for the banks. I think it's the first day every single regional bank was in the red. What does that make you feel about the markets moving forward? Is that, in a weird way, a bullish sign? I mean, everything is red. Is the bounce imminent?
Well, the thing about it is, it's the legacy banking system run on fractional reserve lending, right? That's just kind of what you go through history and you see that when you print money over and over again, and they're going to have to raise the debt ceiling too. So once they raise the debt ceiling, the Fed's going to have to print more money. That I've been saying for years, and even when he started saying it, they will never get that interest, that rate down to 2%. It's just not happening. Like I could run on that in 10 years. I'm telling you. So I believe it's very bullish for Bitcoin. The more people wake up, the more people realize, would you rather sit here like I am, nice and cool with my hardware wallet, just hanging out? Or do you want to be in a line waiting for your money? You know what I mean? I won't be. I'll be sitting here just chilling, and they'll be waiting in line for their money. So if you're not hedged, at least, I think this pushes people who don't fully even understand Bitcoin. They're like, well, at least I'll have what is mine. So this is only going to propel Bitcoin higher. As long as we can kind of stay above this $27,000, $26,000 level, I believe 30K and 40K are coming. It's just only a matter of time. 3-day chart looks pretty good after an easy reset and not losing a lot. So, man, let them fall, man. Enough is enough. You know what I mean? If you don't represent the people, if you want to scam behind our backs, it's time you get out the way and let Bitcoin reign king. So, yeah,
all right.
Let's go, baby.
All right. Well, Feroz, you're also seeing some bank failures in the EU. We had Credit Suisse also collapse. It seems like we're seeing a similar strategy being played out in the EU and the US. We want all the banks to consolidate into just a handful of big players. What to you, in your opinion, what is the worst thing that might happen if we were to consolidate all the banking to just a few key players?
Well, I mean, I think, and this goes globally, actually, not just obviously focused on America, but even within the EU, right? What happens? I think my worst fear here is that we end up losing our financial freedom, our sovereignty, right? Because we only have a few banks to choose from for starters. And the other thing is, by aggregating and having all these super banks working with each other, that means the banks will have too much power, right? That's one of the other issues. Too much power, too much influence over the economy as a whole, which isn't a good thing. The economy, not just the economy, the government as well, and the people, right? You're reducing freedom of choice. So these are quite, important things, and they're quite dangerous as well. I think the other thing is, we've seen in the past, when we used to see high banking fees, high transaction fees, as a collective, you could complain with the smaller banks, and you might see something happen. We certainly saw it within the UK happen a few times to reduce transaction fees, for example. But again, the idea is that if we then start aggregating again into super banks, is what I'm going to call them, they're going to be able to charge high fees, right? They're going to impose unfair restrictions. They're going to censor transactions, manipulate the markets. I mean, they're already doing it now, but when you only have a few global players doing it, you have manipulation at a much larger scale. And I think the other thing is, which is quite important, is that as there are fewer banks, and this is less about the people, you and I, but it's more about vulnerabilities, because if you look at cyber attacks, fraud, corruption, bailouts, all of these things ultimately become much enlarged. So I'm going to say, crypto offers a better alternative: decentralization, openness, transparency, empowering. Like Sam mentioned, we're being empowered. Who wants to wait in the queue? But I also want to be real here, which is we're also not there yet. I mean, this is a journey. I think we're still very early on, but we've come a long way. I mean, I've been in this space since 2017, and I think we've come quite a long way since then. I think we've still got quite a long way to go before we start seeing that sort of mass adoption of crypto, but we're getting there. Getting there.
Yeah, slowly but surely, it's a marathon, not a race here. Well, Cassius, super banks, I like that term. We do seem to be moving towards this era of super banks where the smaller players, there are down. There are some customers, they're worried about losing all the funds that are above the FDIC limit. Anything above $250,000 might just be gone in a puff of smoke, might be very, very tumultuous trying to get those funds back from this bank that's now maybe close to bankruptcy. JP Morgan, Bank of America, they only fell 1 or 2%. These other banks are falling 40, 50%. If a bank is too big to fail, could that be a good thing? It can't fail, right?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, for starters, first of all, this is an obvious case of history rhyming, as we like to say, repeating itself, if not repeating itself, at least rhyming. I saw a chart earlier today on Twitter where it showed how many regional banks, like smaller banks, that crashed in the great financial crisis, or I should say that went under. And then compared to how many big ones, Washington Mutual was the biggest one. We've already had 3 banks that are almost as big as Washington Mutual go under during this time period. So it's definitely looking like the beginning of an issue, not necessarily the end. So I don't know if the real big, like the JP Morgans are going to go under. I would say they're probably not. Too big to fail seems to unfortunately be a real thing. The powers that be, they don't want to lose all their money. So that's probably not going to happen. But the results of that, ultimately, as far as a crypto perspective, I think is one gigantic advertisement for Bitcoin, one big gigantic advertisement for decentralization. It brings more and more people, right to their face, why we have this thing called blockchain technology, why we believe in it, why we believe in borderless peer-to-peer, why we want permissionless. All of these things that are happening with the financial system that most folks aren't like paying attention to on a daily basis when they just show up at their job and get their paycheck deposited. The moment that system cracks for any individual, it's going to open your mind to say, wait, why is this happening? I thought everything was okay. And it's not like a normal course of business now. Well, what is the alternative? How do we fix this? That's an inevitable question you're going to have to ask if you try to go to your bank and you can't take your money out that you worked for this whole entire time and you had direct deposited. So it's not like they're not going to be asking the question of what else can I do? How can I be protected from this? To me, it's like all roads lead to Bitcoin. It really is true that this is something that is not going to be ignored.
All right, that's why we put you in the orange box. That view right there. All right, well, let's say one little quote from Jay Powell. I have a picture of him up here. This one's to you, Tim. The financial system. Let me just get his quote here correctly. It is sound and resilient. The banking system. Do you happen to share that view of Jerome Powell? The banking system sound and resilient. Did we share this photo? I have a photo of him smelling his own bag of hot air.
That's the Fizz face. If you guys are from the Bay Area, you know that, Mac.
Well, first of all, let's not give that quote to Jerome Powell, because we all know that somebody else wrote that script for him yesterday. So that's not him that said that. Also, just going back and looking at the charts and looking at some timeline things, we like to try to predict against what Jim Cramer says. That's the joke. That's the meme. If Jim Cramer says something's crashing, go buy it. If he says it's about to explode, you need to go short it. Well, guess what? You can do the same thing to a lot of people in politics. And I know, technically speaking, the Fed is not politics, but they're in the government. And if you go back to, I think, March, when we were dipping very, very hard, we were told that the banking crisis was over. It was coming to an end. Everything was fine. And sure enough, the banks started having problems. We saw some more things happening. Then we get to the top, and I'm going to go shift over to the White House. The White House, Biden speaking, he's like, oh, we actually should expect more troubles. Well, guess what the price of Bitcoin was getting at when that started happening? It was starting to approach 30,000. So as he actually starts to admit, hey, we might have some problems, we start approaching 30,000. Then they're starting to spew this narrative once again that we're going to be all right. The White House came out here last week saying the bank crisis is nearing over. Of course, we got the Jerome Powell quote saying it is resilient, and then we get more banks crashing. So it's kind of like you can almost apply the exact same thing we apply to Jim Cramer with Jerome Powell and the White House. If they say one thing, the exact opposite is going to happen. But speaking of another quote, over on Investing Bros, one of the things, shout out to T. Shrew, my co-host, a +1 for him. He did a great job the other night here on the show. He does this thing every morning where he reads a quote of the day. And I can't remember the guy who said the quote, and I can't remember the words exactly, but it was something along the lines of, if you can use a gun to rob a bank, but if you have a bank, you can rob the people. So even this whole process we're seeing it develop, this super bank, as they put it, and this limiting of what's happening, the power that they will have, this concept of banks are too big to fail, it's not they're too big to fail, it's they're too big so they won't fail. They will get every loose end they can get. They will get every freedom whenever they're running out of money. Unlike you and me, who have to budget for ourselves, they will get bailout after bailout after bailout. And guess who they take the store of value from? You, the individual, me, the individual. They're just going to steal from us left and right. And so when we say things like, hey, the banks are too big to fail, it's not necessarily like that. It's more the banks are too big so they won't fail. And all the more reason, as Cassius said and others said, this is the reason we got to be shifting over into Bitcoin. This is the reason we got to be taking money away from these centralized systems. We've got to be very clear to them. It's a revolution. It's not always going to be fun. They're going to make it difficult on you. But the more and more of us that get together and say, we are done with this banking system, we're done with traditional finances, and we move our money into solid monies once again, like Bitcoin and other cryptos, that's when we're actually going to see potentially these banks are not too big to fail, and we could see a complete shift in the system.
All right. Well, I tell you who doesn't like the shift in the system. It is Jeromeo. He's looking at you right now. He is not satisfied with you saying he didn't write those words. He definitely didn't. All right. Let's move on. Talk a little. I thought we were done, guys. I'm talking about Pepe. Pepe, a brand new all-time high. Yes, it created another leg up. Let's just look at the seven-day chart here. This is the 24-hour. Maybe about to blast through a new one. It looks like we set it around noon today. If we look at the 7-day, a lot of people called this the top. Lower high. Guys, it's over. Get out. Run for the hills. I think this was around 8 a.m. yesterday. You got in at 8 a.m. yesterday. You're up over 100% at the moment. Just launched over 2 weeks ago and soared around at one point, like I said, I think it was 109% on the 24-hour chart. Based off Pepe the Frog, of course. There's the wallets. We could talk about liquidity issues. Oh, the one wallet, 250, now 1.02 million. It's a couple other like that. Market cap as of right now, 699 million. Pretty nice. Almost 42,000 there as well. All right, Tim, we were talking about meme coins yesterday. It's something you traditionally stay away. I'm trying to convince you, hey, when there's a season, maybe, it's fun to participate with money you're okay losing. So I want to talk about Pepe versus another meme coin. Plus, you do a little TA. Can Pepe overtake Sheeb? Yes or no?
Simple answer, yes, it absolutely can overtake Sheep. And we talked about this a little bit before the show. This is my belief long term. And even when it comes to meme coins, I want to urge every single person do invest very cautiously, invest with wisdom, invest knowing what you're getting into, but do not FOMO in. Do not, one of the reasons why I'm a little bullish on Pepe because I do think there are millions of people who will literally just purchase this coin for the meme of it. And that's the reason it's a meme coin. I think Sheeb had a good run this last bull market. I'm not saying that Sheeb's going to go away, but I think that the legend of Pepe absolutely will top the copycat of Doge, which is Sheeb. And I know there's probably going to be some Sheeb people in chat and all over the internet that are going to hate that, but I'm sorry. You're a copycat. You benefited off the fact that there was another dog coin. And yes, you do things a little bit differently and you have your own flair, but ultimately you're not going to top Dogecoin and you're going to get topped by Pepe. Not that I support the whole community. In case DZ gets any ideas about accusing me of any crimes or malicious activity, but there's a massive community out there supporting supporting Pepe. That is 4chan. And I think a majority of them haven't even gotten in the crypto space. Here's one of the reasons why I actually think Pepe could be interesting for crypto in general. How many people just infatuated with the whole Pepe meme are not even yet completely into cryptocurrency? They get invested as a joke, as a meme. They put a little money into a coin like Pepe. The joke continues, and then they realize this is a cool space. I'm going to get into some of this other crypto stuff. I'm going to move my money into sound money. I think that the meme of Pepe will far outlive the meme of Sheeb. The question I have, DZ, and I know this isn't the topic, but I'm interested over the next maybe 10, 15 years, does Pepe even take out Doge? I'm not quite certain about that one just yet, but I'm starting to chew on that one.
All right. Well, I probably take a little bit of support from Elon Musk, but hey, this is crypto. Anything is possible. Firoz, like I said, if you bought yesterday around 8 a.m., you're up over 100. Really, at this point, probably even closer to that. You're up over 100%. We look like it was an all-time high, look like it was going to dump. Most usually do dump. You kind of want to tell people to be cautious, and then you see 100% candle print. Have you given up on trying to convince people to not buy meme coins?
Well, let me answer it slightly differently, DZ, because again, like Tim said, with meme coins, there's a funness to it more than anything else. I wouldn't say there's any type of value. I wouldn't say there's any type of utility. I wouldn't say there's any type of benefit other than, of course, it's a meme and they're cheap from the sort of human eye perspective or psychology perspective. And people buy and they get into it. They see, somebody that might put in $100, then it's suddenly $200. They think, oh, you know what, I've done quite all right. I might then start delving more into crypto. But I also do think, that it is my duty also to educate and obviously warn people about the dangers and pitfalls of this type of investment because that's what it is. I don't really want to see people lose their hard-earned money or get scammed or get rug pulled because we see a lot of this happening. So I wouldn't necessarily tell people to go in. I mean, if somebody really is asking me, I may say, you know what, if you've got a little bit that you're willing to lose and sort of play around with it, go for it. But for me, I'd be lying if I say that I stay away from meme coins. There's always a degenerate in all of us when it comes to crypto. As much as you want to give out sound advice, most of the time you do want to go against it. And I'd be lying if I said I hadn't bought into a couple of meme coins, but I have. But at the same time, I would urge people to be cautious because again, it's a bit of fun, it's a bit of joke. I think the other issue is that with a lot of these liquidity, there isn't much liquidity. You might see a massive market cap, sitting at around 700 million, but if there's only say 3 million in liquidity available, well, to be honest, if you get quite a few people taking their toys out of the bucket, you're suddenly going to find yourself in a situation where it's a rush to see who gets out and who's ultimately left holding the bag because it is a game of musical chairs at some point.
Yeah, and the music will stop playing eventually. I mean, we're going to probably be generally trending up and to the right for the next 2.5 years. But guys, just beware. Music can't stop playing. Sam, what is your crypto meme coin strategy? Do you stay away from meme coins? I mean, you're more of a traditional TA guy. In fact, you even hedge your stable coins with Bitcoin. I mean, you really are concerned about keeping your Satoshis high. Does that mean you
Yeah.
stay away, or does that mean you dive even harder in?
You know, it's interesting. Being a veteran of meme season, like having gone through a meme season already, I learned that technical analysis tells you what people are going to do. And so I started extrapolating the actual asset and just looking at form. And I've gotten to form my brain where like patterns mean everything to me. Now, obviously, I do fundamentals of like I'm like long term holding AGIX and things that actually have like substantial value behind them. But like I got to take you through the meme story real quick because like I was like chomping at the bit for this question. That's an Adam and Eve double bottom. If you're in my trading group and you back tested it, I put this call out right there and I drew a little flag. We nailed that, right? And so we nailed that call. I put in like $3,000 into Pepe. And I'll tell you why. And number one, I had money to burn. So, oh well. Number two, look, Pepe, 3.48 million tweets. I've been on, if you look at my profile on Twitter, I've been on Twitter since 2011. I had never seen something trend like that. See, I'm a speculative investor. When I know everyone else is into something, I'm riding the wave. I'm not a fool. So like, I don't care if it's dog doo-doo on the street. Like if everyone's tweeting about it like that, look, and I just degen $6. I did not put any more. And just now I was in the waiting room before the show. I closed the trade and I turned $6 into like $25. I've never used 100x leverage in my life, but I just did it because I'm going through a tough week. I think it just got my mind off what I'm going through. But so I saw it trending out of control, right? I threw about 3 racks in it when it was around 3, that 3,000. And when it all went all the way up to like 9, I sold everything but about $2,500 worth. And now I'm sitting on another 4 racks and it keeps going. So now I'm sitting on free money. I've taken my money back and about $2,000 in profit. So I'm already up. And why not? Like now I can just let it ride, right? So I think I did the right thing. You know what I mean? I usually, in all the other memes, I used to ride. Like I rode Safe Moon 100x because I was out of my mind. And most people want 100x because like who doesn't sell at 75x? But it's like you learn to make money when you don't care about it anymore, I guess, in a little way. But now I'm way more responsible. I said to myself, I want to just ride it all. Like it'd probably be $15,000 right now if I left it there. But I said, you know what, Sam, do the right thing. It could go any moment. It's just being pushed up by tweet and trend. So I decided to take my initial but now it's such a cool free ride because if it really just keeps running, like I'm not losing sleep over it. I don't have to touch it. And I'm just rocking this Pepe move. One last thing I want to show you is last night I put a trade out to my trading group. And I just want to show you how I put it out. Like I saw this right here, and that's a falling wedge. And I drew a Fibonacci, and it had just tweaked near the 618. And then I also zoomed in because I know that's hard to see. And I said, that's an inverted head and shoulder. They break up 68% of the time. See, I don't care about the asset. I care about the form. Form makes me money. I'm addicted to the form. I know that form, the inverted head and shoulder, breaks up. And then last night I said, well, here's another way to look at it. And that like basically ripped like right after I put it out. No stop loss got hit. It was a clean trade. And the last thing I'll show you is if we look at the chart one more time, why did it pump again? Look, that's another Adam and Eve double bottom right there, right? That resembled this exact Adam and Eve double bottom here. And so again, I trade form, not asset at the time when I think there's hype. As long as there's hype, you got to have hype. People have to have eyes. So I traded this Adam and Eve. And Adam and Eve's traditionally give you, if you take the top here, they give you this exact, I don't know why, but they almost like guarantee you about a 40% move. And that did it there. This one ripped. So I'm still riding. And right now I'm trading the 33-minute time frame and it's about to rip again. Like I'm not like anything could happen. And what I see here is my favorite thing to trade is hidden bullish. When you have a swing down, but this swings up, it tells me that you're going to make a high higher than the previous high. It did it right here. If we go to like a bigger time frame, that was hidden bullish right there. See how the RSI went down, but the price went up? It was a 90% chance because I do this over and over again for like 10 years that you were going to make a high higher than this high. So I had all these indications to me that I've traded, and you could trade Bitcoin like this. You could trade oil like this. You could trade gold like this. It doesn't matter the asset. If you see structure, I nail the structure. I go after it like a pit bull trying to chew your leg off. So I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready. I'm in, and I'm ready to keep seeing where this can go. And again, I swear I'm not a degen.
No, you crushed that Pepe. You crushed it well. I think you have a pretty good strategy with the take out your initial, it went up even more, you took off even more profit. Now it's just free money, and now you can go to sleep and you don't have to touch your Pepe. And if it explodes, it'll all the way to the top, right? Ceiling. All right, last question of Pepe here. Cassius, I'm not going to name names. Previous panelists said, hey, meme coins, there's no value, no benefit, no utility. Is there any reason to ever buy a meme coin besides gains?
Well, First of all, I found out about Pepe a little over a week ago. Shout out my man Spotty Wi-Fi. Put me in the chat. You guys don't know Spotty Wi-Fi. He's like the biggest crypto rapper, so make sure you check him out. But he told me about it. Put me in the Twitter Spaces for it. I swear to God, I've never heard excitement like this in my life. It was only been out about a week. And, I'm the guy, you see Cassius Cuvee, and, you always think fun. I want you to think of fun when you see me. So I'm not going to tell you not to have fun in crypto. I didn't buy. I texted my boy. I said, look, I'm going to wait to see if there's a little bit of a pullback. Didn't happen that much, and I wasn't really sweating it. I knew it might run, though, because I swear to God, I never seen excitement like this for any asset in my life, okay? So I definitely sound like a lot of people were having a lot of fun. I did go on their website, though. I don't know if any of you guys actually been on Pepe's website. You scroll all the way to the bottom, and it clearly says there is no financial value in the coin, right? There's no inherent value. It's clearly for fun. It's clearly to be a meme. That being said, like you said earlier, it is a game of musical chairs. Some point is going to pull back, and some people are going to be left holding the bag. And I hope nobody loses a lot of money. That's also the flip side of this. Part of the reason why I don't participate too much in meme coins that don't have much utility is for that reason. But I am all about having fun. If you can do what Sam did, I think this is like a TA guy's dream, right? Tim and Sam can speak to this, because if there's no fundamentals, you're just going by the TA anyways, right? And so you might as well have at it, right? You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that is something you can have fun with, but not your whole bag, you guys. Always diversify.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, you don't have to worry about Jerome Powell having none of that. None of that. It's just nothing but pure charts. All right, well, let's move on and talk about BRC20 tokens. Yeah, there's a lot of gains, even though most coins are largely flat. Some things are exploding upward. BRC tokens have gained 600% in market cap just in the last week. They just launched late last month. Very, very new. Already, I almost feel like it's regular crypto. 8,500 different tokens have been minted using the BRC20 standard. It's named after ERC20. Not really the same, but here you can see this is the high total market cap. This updates every 1 minute. Just to be clear, this is pulled from a few hours ago. Number one, Ordi, then Pepe, then Meme, Sheeb, Wizard, Domo, Punk. And you see, and it's a weird way to buy it. Like with Ordi, you might have to buy 50 of them at a time. So then you're looking at around $170 for, a small purchase there. All of these are, of course, 100% minted. There are going to be some that, maybe you could find the next Punk, Domo, Wizard, not financial advice, but it's still a very, very new industry, still very nascent. It's been blowing up Bitcoin mining revenue. Just launched about a week ago. It's added over 100 Bitcoin to the Bitcoin mining revenue wallets there. But let's talk about just the fundamentals of this. Firoz, do you agree with these meme tokens being made on Bitcoin? As much as, agree is a little bit of a weird term. Do you think it's a good thing for, let's just say, miners specifically, and keeping the network secure? Is it good to keep network security high, all these meme tokens?
Look, I suppose it depends on which way you look at it, right? I think on one point of view, you can say it's a net positive for the network, right? Because we're showing that there's obviously high demand. There's obviously adoption for Bitcoin as a global digital currency. Again, we're showing that the network is, I suppose, secure, robust, all of these things, right? Because it can handle large volumes, as we're seeing. I think it was about 100 and something, 20 million or whatever in terms of the market cap there. But obviously the transactions are much greater because you have to buy them in bulk. I don't think you can just go and pick up one like you mentioned earlier. So again, I think we're managing to do all of this stuff without compromising the integrity and the performance. So that's a net positive, right? Again, we're obviously incentivizing miners, to back up the network. But I think where we're seeing it being a net negative is, let's be honest, Bitcoin, again, from my perspective, it was designed to be a store of value. It wasn't there designed to compete with the likes of Ethereum or anything else, right? Because, I think we should leave things like ordinals, all of these things, really, they should be on smart contract platforms. That's where they are. They should be on platforms that have much cheaper cost of transaction more than anything else. Because here, the other thing you need to understand is that the cost to do this is going to be much greater anyway. So I would say for when you're looking at, developing countries, for example, that are ultimately, finding it to be much higher cost for Bitcoin, these things don't really help. It becomes a net negative. So, I suppose maybe I can't give you a yes or a no, but there are pros and cons.
All right. Well, I'm going to take that kind of path here. And Tim, there is a little thing called the Lightning Network, right? Jack Mahler. I was going to throw out a Jack Mahler joke, but we're so close to Bitcoin Miami. I don't want to have anyone tear up. With the Lightning Network, it adds a lot of functionality to Bitcoin. I mean, is this going to eventually kill Lightning Network and other solutions, payment solutions for Bitcoin? Because just as they're starting to catch up and say, hey, we're close to you being able to use it for a Starbucks cup of coffee, then someone makes meme coins or someone makes NFTs. The next thing you know, the network starts getting more congested or more clogged, and then the fees start going higher and higher. Are you worried about the payment solutions and the L2 rails on Bitcoin from these NFTs and meme coins?
Yeah, DZ, I'm sitting here. I'm in the same boat as Perez. I don't know if I have my final opinion formed just yet because there's a lot of things wrestling right now about it. As you just said, of course, yeah, like the higher fees resulting with that high demand right now, it's good right now, but it's going to cause some people to maybe go away from it. We've seen in the past a lot of times when we get to transaction highs, we're also getting close to seeing the tops of markets. I don't think we're going to see that because you also usually see the hash rates just plummeting. Like we did back in April of 2021, we saw the transactions just hitting all-time highs, but then we saw the hash rate starting to come down. Simple law of economics, the supply and demand thing. So I'm sitting here saying, like, on one hand, it's good because it's increasing demand, but of course, as the gas fees stay high and the fees stay high, it's going to bring demand away. The good news though for Bitcoin right now is, of course, the hash rate is high. So what I'm interested to see, I think that there could be a positive with this new doing NFTs on there, but I do think it would probably get us away from ever thinking that Bitcoin legitimately will become currency, especially the world reserve currency. I think that if we go this direction, which by the way, I think it's right to go this direction because the whole point of cryptocurrency is to have decentralized systems, have freedom to choose. And there's going to be the people, there's going to be the Bitcoin maxis and others who say it'll be better if we just use Bitcoin as value. But guess what? I believe heavily in the right to choose. And if people are using Bitcoin for NFTs and for other purposes, hey, that's the right to choose. We need to let the system play out the way it does. What it will not take away is Bitcoin's store of value. So I think long term, the negative, if you want to call it a negative, is this might be part of the reason why I think DZ kind of getting there with Lightning Network, why we're not going to see Bitcoin be. I don't think you're going to see people using Satoshis to buy things, but what you will see people using Bitcoin for is an amazing store of value. Maybe we see something like Ethereum or some other altcoin, or maybe something we haven't even heard yet, that maybe it's backed by the value of Bitcoin, that actually it's utilized for transactions. But so that's the positive value, I think, will still go up. The negative, for anyone who wanted to be paying for things in Satoshis, you might not get your way. You might need to find another crypto to back for long-term currency use.
All right. Well, someone console Jack Mahler because that's kind of his whole thing here. All right. Well, Sam, we're just talking about meme coins, and you yourself took some profit off of Pepe. I want to ask you generally, do you see some of the profits from Pepe and some of these other meme coins on Ethereum, on Cardano, on Solana, even with Bonk? Do you see any of that floating its way into the Bitcoin protocol with the BRC20s?
It's funny. Way back in the day when I had an 8,000 subscriber channel, I was always looking to find a way to kind of, help my channel. And I bumped into Crypto Lifestyle, and the guy said, hey, I'm really busy, but I need YouTubers to make videos for my thing while I'm busy building stuff and doing other things. And I threw in my application and he picked me, and I started making videos for his channel on and off. And now he has Francis Done Uncensored. And dude, he was talking about BRC20 tokens like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. He always seems to have like a little bit of an edge on this. So he's like the main dude, and he's been breaking it down. And I always thought that Bitcoin would eventually get, interruptibility, and I was like, it will never stay stagnant. Everyone was like, it's a dinosaur. And I'm like, dude, they're going to build on it at one point. Like we have Taproot coming on. We have other things coming on that are going to change the future of Bitcoin. Again, I think it's always going to be gold. Like you're never going to see me go buy a Starbucks, cup of coffee with my Bitcoin. It's not happening. It's going to be used for collateral. You're going to be able to keep it in your wallet. Eventually, there's going to be a smart contract at the bank. You're going to be able to say, hey, I have 50 Bitcoins, 30 Bitcoins, if you're ever that blessed, whatever it is. And you're going to say, hey, I'd like to put it down. I want to get a loan. Maybe it's a stable coin at that point or a CBDC. And you're going to be able to buy, hopefully, some real estate with it. If the real estate goes up in value, you'll keep collecting that rent. You could sell a building and then unlock that Bitcoin back. I believe you'll never sell your Bitcoin. You will use it as collateral. That's my futuristic belief. And I'm pretty sure it's going to come true. So as it continues to grow, like I don't think it'll ever compete with like, a smarter, quick, like Solana or something like that, because it's a little back behind the scenes and more people are going to want to hold it like gold. But at the same time, this guy knows more than me, and I've been watching his channel. And even if his last few videos, how to transfer BRC20s. I did make an ordinal like a month and a half ago. I thought it was the coolest thing. I ran and bought I did spend $100 worth of Bitcoin to make an ordinal. I thought it was crazy, but I like doing something early and seeing how it is. And if you see that dove right there, my dad died on Monday night, and I just want to let everyone know: hug your loved ones, be there for them. You know what I mean? And God bless my dad, man. Celebrate my dad's life today. We're having a wake tomorrow, and death is a celebration. I just have to put that out there. So stay strong if you are going through something like that. And just know that, if you haven't talked to a loved one in a while, reach out and say, I love you. I know it's a little off topic, but I just had to kind of throw that in there. But yeah, I think Bitcoin's a store of value. It's gold, man. It's digital gold. Like, and I don't see it competing with faster, quicker chains like XRD and things that can really be, layer twos, Arbitrum, optimism. There's just no way. I don't think that's not what it's for. You know what I mean? We need a standard. We need a foundation to the pyramid. That's Bitcoin,
All right. Well, speaking of Bitcoin, Cassius, does this make Bitcoin fun to you? Do you think this will be good to equate where a Zoomer, I'm calling you a Zoomer, I think we're pretty close to the same age, but the Zoomers out there, oh, wait a minute, I can actually get some gains with a Bitcoin wallet, not just, quote, someone in the chat, you're never going to get rich buying and sitting on Bitcoin like an idiot. I think he knows who he is who said that, but now there's actually gains to be had with this BRC standard. When I say gains, I mean, not slow and steady. I'm saying I want to wake up and see 100% print. Is this going to equate to more young people and more of the meme degen people to say, you know what, I can give up my MetaMask and I guess I'll go ahead and download this ordinal wallet?
And that's a great question, because I always, when I see this news, I always ask myself, right? We're kind of still at a bear market, or at least, coming to the end of a bear market. That's certainly not a speculative fervor like in the beginning of 2021. And I wonder are these all people who are already in the crypto ecosphere who are just now utilizing this, or is there people who are from outside of it who are getting their attention drawn to it because of ordinals? And, I'd like to believe that there's some new folks coming in and finding Bitcoin more exciting, not just people who are, trading on Ethereum and now switching over to Bitcoin. And it's the same amount of people and the same amount of, new money coming in. So I think that maybe it can spark some interest to get some more folks to come into it. It's obviously going to start with the degens and all of us who already been in crypto this whole entire time. But basically, if Bitcoin itself has a little more fun to it, a little more purpose, I would call it, for all the folks who only look at it as a store of value, only look at it as digital gold, it gives that opportunity to do something else. And as far as, by the way, the congestion on the network, that I do believe could be a potential issue down the line, except for the fact that I don't know many folks who would want to spend their Satoshis at a Starbucks, like he was saying, because everyone knows that like Bitcoin is a store of value. So what you have, you're mostly trying to accumulate more over time, even if you trade around your position. It's not something that you just dump it all, it ain't a meme coin. I'll put it that way. So basically, I think that this will bring more attention to the Bitcoin network itself, which any new attention to Bitcoin is always good attention to it for me, especially because it kind of gives, some of the mainstream a little more of a narrative to talk about Bitcoin. And anytime they talk about it, I think it's a good thing.
You said it's not a meme. Craig Wright said it is. So I don't know who to believe. All right. Well, that is all we have time for. And Sam, you ended up taking it home. It was a close one. We'll go ahead and just say whatever you need to say. The stage is yours, my friend. Go ahead.
One thing I want to say is I agree with the comment. Like you won't get rich holding Bitcoin, but the end of the day is it's a good place to stack some of the big money that you've made over time. Like to me, it's like real estate. Like I definitely have bags of all sorts of insane coins. I think I hold over 350 cryptos. Like it's insane. And I keep finding another one that I want to grab. But when I take profits, if I make a big amount of money, I'm definitely going to put 20 to 30% of that profit into BTC. You know what I mean? And so I find it is a safer store of value, especially on a hardware wallet. Like I know people that have way more Matic than me. They were multimillionaires compared to what I had, but now I still have my Bitcoins on a hardware wallet and they can't access their Celsius, their Celsius account. So it's there's a plus and minus to how much you want to make and how safe the actual asset is. And, I just want to leave with God bless my dad, man. Rest in peace for your soul. And, again, I want to say to everyone, if you haven't talked to your brother, your sister, your mother, there was some fight that happened, you can't remember the last time you called them, just eat it. give them a call. You know what? You'll feel better about yourself, even if they kind of rebuff you and it's not perfect. Pick up that phone, tell them you love them, give them a hug the next time you see them, lay it down and just open your heart, because you're going to feel so much better once you do that. And you'll have no regrets, because you never know when you're going to lose someone that you truly love. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for everyone in the Bit Squad and the Lifers. And thank you for let me have on the show today. I really, no place I'd rather be here at 5 p.m. or 10 p.m. like Firoz every Thursday.
And infinity points for Crypto Lifer there. That's I've been through something similar, and I know several other people have. So they appreciate your honestness and your bravery just coming forward with that. I'm feeling a little emotional myself. I was going to say, Ben's talking to Donald Trump Jr. In like 20 minutes, guys. If you want to check that out,
cool.
maybe check out both their Twitters. You could probably find a link to that. I think that's all we got time for. Look, we're going to be back tomorrow. Sam, I wish I was going to see you in Miami. I really, really do. Probably have to try to catch you at the next crypto conference. That's all we have time for today, everybody. I hope you had a good time. Please hit that like button. Everybody's links is in the description. I just checked myself, so please go check out their channels. Make sure you're subbed, and maybe just go like their last video. Just check it out, see if it's up. Good fit for you. That's all we got. DZ out. Till next time.